Hey guys, Chris here. So I know I've been doing mostly airgun content, but that's not all I do. Even though it is one of my favorite hobbies, but my other favorite hobby is right here. So um, I made this thing real powerful, and I knew I needed to do the clutch, and I didn't do the clutch over the winter because we didn't have really much of a winter here. I live in Connecticut, so the weather, you know what they say about Connecticut. You don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes, and it's been changing like every 5 minutes all season. So didn't really have a winter. I think it snowed twice, and it was very mild. So I have to change the clutch. So right now, I just had to take my machine and move the car over a little bit because I had my buddy has a tow company and he backed it in as best he could, but it wasn't straight. So I had to take this and move it. Like I got it by the frame rail underneath. I'm gonna bring it under there real quick. I'm not gonna record like a big long video doing this because it's gonna be done in pieces because not even all the parts are in yet. But I'll put the video together at the end and one video out of it. But here is where I have to get to. So this whole thing, that's the clutch and the bell housing, and the transmission has to come down, so that cross member has to come off. The exhaust I'm taking off right now. Everything's already loose. So you see that's the O2 sensor wires hanging down, but the other O2 sensors that are on the long tubes are going to stay. So I mean, I've already done a whole ton of shit under here. I did the coilovers, I did the upper and lower control arms, I did the sway bar, the end links. I mean, I've done, and everything in the back too. I did both for the wheel hop. I did the trailing arms. I did the whole exhaust, the headers, all the way to the tailpipes. Which I'm going to take that off because when I did it, I welded it from underneath the car, and it was kind of a pain in the ass, and it didn't come out the way I would have wanted it to. So I'm going to bring it inside now while I take it apart, and I'm going to weld it right. So. I have it disconnect. It disconnects at the flange to the headers for the, and then it disconnects right there with where the O2 sensors are. I'm sorry, where the connection for the yeah, right around where the O2 sensors are. But those are the high flow cats, and the cat back exhaust just disconnects at the tailpipes. So that from the high flow cats all the way to the tailpipes is all one piece, and then the two high flow cats, I don't even need to bring those in. I do want to. This was, oh no, there's one connection, right? I do need to bring those in because there's one connection right there to make that. It's like it makes it go out this way and then back in that way. So I did weld that, so I am going to bring those in. And all these welds, I'm going to grind them down. I'm going to grind all that black shit off. That's this exhaust tape that I put on there over the connection before I ended up welding it. But now I'm going to take the whole thing in. I'm going to grind them all down. I'm going to clean off all that black shit. I'll do a little bit of filming of doing welding the exhaust. I don't think I've done too much welding yet on video. But so I'll do that, and then once I do all that, the parts should be in. I think some of it's coming today, some of it's coming in a couple days. So I will do it as the stuff comes in, and then I got a transmission jack. I actually have like a smaller transmission jack that it's kind of for when you're underneath the car. So up on a lift, it's not really very useful because I got to lower the lift just to hit it. So my buddy loaned me his. So I'm going to use that. I got to grab that with the machine while I got it going. So I'm going to unstrap that and get that out of my truck and get it over there for when I get that far. But I mean, I already made a good amount of progress. I got the whole center console out inside, the shifters taken apart, which I put a short throw Barton shifter in there. So that's all. It's like a million pieces. It makes it a pain in the ass, but that's all taken apart. And then once I get the exhaust out, then I got to take off that cross member, take off the drive shaft, drop the transmission, and then I got a new pressure plate, dual disc metallic racing clutch that can go up to horsepower, and I'm sorry, 1,400 foot-pounds of torque, 1050 horsepower. I don't know how that math works out, but that's what it's rated. I mean, this car has a ton of torque too, so I guess it's a good thing. So, and then after I'm done with the clutch, I'm actually, while it's in the garage, I'm gonna also do the rear axles, because I've done everything in the front except the axles, but the rear, I kind of wanted to wait until I figured out how much horsepower I'm gonna make it, because the next big thing is gonna be a stroked 426 motor. So, and then once I feel the 426 naturally aspirated, then I'll decide whether or not I'm going to do a Whipple on top of that. But the Whipple kind of depends on how much power I feel like I have. If it feels like it's not going to be street drivable with a Whipple, because this is going to be an all forged bottom end and pistons and rings and everything, so I'll be able to give it 20-30 pounds of boost, and it'll be a monster. It'll be faster than a demon. So the idea is just put the 426 in and see how fast it is, and if it's going to be too fast to drive, I know I'd have to do heavy duty, I'd probably have to replace a transmission, drive shaft, differential, the rear axles. I got to put strut tower braces and probably even a roll cage at that point. So I don't know if I want to cross that line and turn it into a full-on race car. I kind of want it to be like somewhat street drivable. I mean, it's already barely sticks to the road with 315s in the back. I mean, I put 11-inch wide Hellcat red eye rims on this car, 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 on this car. Show you. Because I don't want to make this like a 4 or 5 hour video, because it's going to take a little while to do this. But I'm doing it in pieces, so it's going to be easy to make the video in pieces, because I'm doing it as I get the parts. I'm getting it ready right now. Whenever I have time, I'm trying to make the time useful and do everything I can. And then when the rest of the stuff comes in, as soon as I get time to do it, I'll do it, because in an hour or so, I'm going to try to finish this welding. I think I have like an hour and a half. Then I got to go show a couple of apartments, so I got to change. I'm going to try to get this out, weld it, grind it down, weld it, and then clean it up, and then clean myself up and go to work. So I got to do this in the middle of everything else. But usually I do it late at night, and that's when I get the time to do my own shit. Is like, after 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, sometimes until pretty late. My fiance is not very happy about, but I gotta start making her more of a priority. But I'm taking her on vacation soon, so. But anyways, I will make another short clip when I get inside to do the welding, so you guys can see the exhaust and what I'm doing with that. And yeah, that's her. That's my girl. That's my other girl. One of my girls. But I'll show you guys the welding, and then probably tomorrow or the following day I should have the transmission ready to be dropped, and I'll show you guys disconnecting that and taking everything apart, and then taking the bell housing out and seeing how bad my old clutch is, which I'm assuming is pretty damn bad, because I can't even drive, so it's got to be bad. But anyways, thanks for watching. And this is going to be only the first part of a longer video, but anyways, I will see you guys in about 2 seconds for you. All right, guys. So it is the next day since I recorded last, and this has been a bitch of a job. I didn't get to work on it until like a couple hours ago today, or however long it's been. I don't know for sure, but because I had a busy day with work stuff. But anyway, I've gotten all the bolts undone for the transmission. All the bolts are out, all the way up there. Everything, all the connections are disconnected. The starter's out. You got to take the starter out too. So that's done. And then the obviously the exhaust has been off. This cross member is the only thing holding it right now. So that's going to be, I'm going to take the back end of the drive shaft off because I disconnected it right here. Hold on, let me get where you can see it. I disconnected it right, what the fuck, right there. I disconnected it there. So I'm going to disconnect the back side also and take that heat shield off so that the whole thing will be out of here, so it won't be in my way when I back up the transmission. And then everything, that's right inside the car up there. Like, everything is out. If you can see up there, everything is out. You can see right inside the car. The whole shifter's out, everything. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take that drive shaft off the back, take the heat shield off, and then I'm going to lower the lift because I can't use that taller transmission jack because the transmission is going to be too big. So it's not going to fit out from under the car because the jack only goes so low. So I'm going to have to do it that way. I'm going to have to lower the car as low as I need to get it to reach the lower jack that I already had, the little Harbor Freight special. And once I get the transmission that low, then I'll take that cross member off, and I should be able to back the transmission out at that point. So right now I'm going to take that heat shield and the back of the drive shaft off, and then try to take this off. So it's a T50 T50 for the drive shaft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen that, and I'll also bring with me, I don't know what size that is, but let me see, 8. These little heat shield bolts. Let me put you guys where you can see. Alright, so I'm going to be going back here. An 8. Fuck, it's a 10. They're pretty small, but they're 10s. There's my 10 millimeter. There we go. Alright, let me put this too. Take them out quick. Shifter, how the fuck did I get down here? See, I'm putting it right back in the car. Everything is wide open. Okay, and that's that. Oh, this drive shaft has a universal in it. I didn't even know that. So I'm gonna have to take those 2 bolts down too to get this thing out of my way. Oh, that's nice. Alright, well, put these in here. Put that in there. Now the Torx bit, I'm going to, and I recommend if you're ever doing this job, that you loosen them with a wrench and then use some sort of an electric or pneumatic device after that. Oh, that's the other thing. I had to use a pipe wrench because even the emergency brake will turn when you're pulling on it hard enough to get those loose. So this is what I did with the front. So I'm turning it this way. I need something to hold it this way. This is thicker back here. I need a bigger pipe wrench. I'm going to set a room just enough. That's why if you use an impact and do that, it's gonna fucking bitch do some damage. This was too small. This is definitely the fucking nut go. Son excuse my language, I tend to not have the greatest language when I'm doing jobs like this. I may have to go get a bigger pipe wrench unless I go secure this somewhere else. I'm not going to do it there because I don't want to damage that boot. Well, maybe the metal part around the boot might work. The metal clip on that boot would probably definitely work. That'll do. Alright, let's do that. See, the e-brake's making it a little hard, but it's not nearly hard enough to get this to go. That's just gonna fucking spin the boot. God damn it. Pain in the freaking balls. Yeah, it's totally spinning the boot. Fuck you. Oh, right here. This end is a little small. A lot smaller, actually. Here it goes into that universe, so that'll work right there. Okay. So you gotta have a little ingenuity. Turns, because these are Loctited, so make sure you got a full bottle of Loctite when you start doing it over again. When you start replacing all this stuff, I mean, because you want to Loctite all these bolts as well. And I gotta print out a Torx sheet. I gotta see what all these torque specs are, because you definitely want to torque this stuff to spec, because this is important shit. And I use red Loctite 277. I don't know what they use from the factory, that green stuff. I'm not sure what that is, but I don't think it's any stronger than red 277. Red 277 is some serious shit. I mean, when that stuff hardens, it's like cement. I mean, it's like as if it's glued on. But the only difference is you can heat it up and it'll come out. Let's try to get those out with this now. Of course, this battery wants to fucking die on me right now. These stupid little tiny 12-volt batteries really suck. The bigger ones get it. And then, of course, after doing all this work, UPS is going to be late with my fucking clutch that had a delivery date of yesterday or today. See, green. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to use red Loctite 277. I'll show it to you in a second. They make it like it's no big deal that they're late. I'm like, dude, I got my car up on the lift, taken apart. I'm hustling till 3 in the morning last night because I'm anticipating it getting here, because it was yesterday or today were the two delivery days. Today's a later day. I mean, I'm thinking it's actually going to be here today. Nope, another day, because they sent it to Texas or some shit instead of Connecticut. Son of a bitch. Such a fucking cunt. So honestly, I was looking on YouTube for some videos to help me out with a couple things that I got stuck on, and I had to find my own way out of it, because there's only a couple of videos of Dodge Challenger clutch changes, and they frankly don't tell you much. You know, they're not bad videos, but like one of them was kind of detailed. I forgot the guy's name, so I give him some credit, but it wasn't that detailed. And I'm trying to show you guys like what to use, what bolts are what. I mean, he did say some of what bolts are what, but I mean, I'm going in and out and showing you some stuff, but everything I'm showing you, I'm going to tell you what it is. I mean, everything on the transmission and bell housing is 15 millimeter, so except for the 12 millimeter that disconnects the wire to the starter, and then the two 10s that take the starter out of the starter housing. But you can take the whole housing out, and that's 15s, which is what I did. And then these are T50s, like I said. But there was not any video that really was of much help. Honestly, even the better one wasn't much help. I don't think these guys were making those videos as if somebody watching it was going to actually be doing this job. But that's how I'm trying to make mine. So if I'm leaving anything out, anybody can just ask me, and I'm happy to answer you as best I can, whatever you need to know. Am I gonna have to get those from the top? You son of a bitch. Maybe not. Oh, it's the e-brake. Well, we're gonna use the pipe wrench. There we go. Already started. Now I'm going to take this, put it on the wrench, start the other three. And then I'll back those out. Let me get the pipe wrench again. Here, fuck. Come on, dude, really? The fuck? See, and would you believe I actually enjoy doing this work? I do like working on my car. It's gratifying in the end, but it's a pain in the ass while you're doing it. A lot of these jobs are. That's why any little bit of help you can get on YouTube is like is a big deal, and that's why I really appreciate it, and that's why I'm going out of my way to make sure that I'm doing the same in return to show you guys as much as I can show you while I'm doing it. Oh, and also UPS today did come here, and one of the businesses was at lunch. This is a commercial building. It's all like storefronts and a church and a dentist, and they're all my tenants. So they can leave it with any of them, but they don't leave it with any of them. They only go to one door, and they are at lunch, so they just don't leave it. So that's my sound equipment that I have coming for these videos. And also a melting pot that I ordered, a bigger, hotter one that I could melt like aluminum, and if I wanted to literally make a silver bullet, I could, because it gets up to I think like 20-something hundred degrees. But it's honestly just because all the crap that's in the stuff that I vacuum out of that bullet trap to burn it off before I put it in the lead melting pot. But it's and it's propane, so that's how it gets so hot. But they didn't leave either one, so now I got to drive to Orange, Connecticut, and go get that stuff, which is fun. So they screwed me twice in one day. I wonder what they're going to do with the rest of this week's deliveries. Okay, that's all of those. that. I had to pry that apart a little bit. Get my little pry bar and hammer, but I got to take this thing down, and then the whole drive shaft's going to come down. That looks like a 13. I will let you know in a second. I'm going to get my a little bit bigger impact, wherever that is. It's over here. I do have all air tools too, but these Milwaukee impacts actually have more power than the pneumatic, and that has been proven time and time again when people can't take rims off after I put them on with that Milwaukee, the 1,400 foot-pound torque wrench. This is 13. Let's see if that's what that is. Yep, 13. Okay, so you got two 13mm bolts right here holding the drive shaft up. Just watch your head, maybe loosen it because this thing's gonna come right down. Bolt is, that's the bracket stays on, huh? Is that kind of, how does that, I gotta pop that out. Let me go get the rubber mallet and the pry tool. I have a whole bunch of these already from the other side, so I want to keep these all together.